I'm ready. Great. Hi everyone. Welcome to Start Reading 2022. My name's Ian. This is Brandon, David, Nicole, and we're Zero. We're going to take future developers from 0 to 1. So a little bit more about me. I'm a product designer, product manager, software engineer. That's what I'll talk a little bit more about. But I've gone through a couple of career changes in the last 5-7 years. But a couple of years ago, I went through a development boot camp, and coding is hard. I don't have to tell you that, but I wish someone would have gave me a little bit of a softer introduction to programming. The amount of times I wanted to pull my hair out and I didn't understand why couldn't I just figure it out, made me want to quit quite a few times. But as we all know, it's not something you can just pick up and go. But don't take it from me. This week we actually heard from 30 to 40 people in our customer discovery, and we continue to hear the same things. It's difficult to learn. Resources are fragmented. The learning curve can be intimidating. And I think we built a product that would have helped me and millions of other people in their first introduction to programming.
So we have created an MVP first version that helps to address those problems by making it easier, more accessible, lower the intimidating factor, help with retention, help memorize and understand concepts, and foundation to help you really grow into whatever kind of code user or code programmer you might become. And this is taking the form of a PDF download. Next slide, please. And as a former web instructor at Kirkwood, I saw the problems that Ian identified several times. I'm a self-taught designer, and I struggled myself years ago. And so our idea is to kind of go old school, analog. Because through some studies we found a 20% increase in retention and development through actually drawing or writing. So we would engage people with more interesting ways to get more senses involved into it. So it's not so much about me versus the technology. And we tested this weekend. We got some great feedback for iteration arguments. And this is our archetype that we're expecting. Rated career changer, about 18 to 29, formal education or work experience, none to some programming. Of the 40-ish people we interviewed, 11 were coders and still had trouble with it. And so someone like this might be in that position where their role is changing, either they're looking for a new job or a new position. And we think that something like this would be very helpful for them.
The demand for software engineers is expected to grow from 27 million to 45 million people over a 10-year period, representing growth of 70%. Based on our research, we believe that 70% of new coders will be job changers, representing a total addressable market of 30 million people. Our content will be accessible, memorable, and foundational, and those attributes are hard to sell to customers. In order to demonstrate these values to customers, Zero will offer some basic content for free. Beyond this, we plan to launch Zero at a per download price of approximately $10 per short course, and eventually move customers to a subscription model.
So our next steps are pretty easily laid out here. We're going to begin with iterating on our MVP that we provided you today. Our cost is really low at the beginning because we actually have 2 software developers on our team, Ian and Karan. They're both full stack, so we got it, 0 cost. Over the next 3 to 6 months, we'll add more courses, and then we'll begin partnering with our code camps, kind of creating this funnel from us to, the next step. We are the stepping stone for you. And then within the next year, we hope to have an online coding school. As of course, we have 2 software developers, so we'll be able to do it hopefully ourselves and keep everything really low cost and just increase our profits. So here's our team, 4 of us standing up here, and then Karan, as I mentioned, the other software developer. developer, and Fuku is also helping with sales and marketing. We are Zero. We teach future developers from 0 to 1. Thank you.
All right, we have 3 minutes.
Well, great job, guys. I'm related to what you're talking about. I had a son go through Delta V a couple of years ago, so maybe you can kind of talk about, how it fits within the context of other options to learn those skills.
Yeah, so part of what we focused on with the analog part was the memory retention. That was kind of like the driving force when you open up a computer. It's really intimidating, right? So this is like that soft intro. From here, the ultimate goal would be to introduce coding with the computer in tandem. We'll start with our own bite-sized lessons, going back and forth with the paper. But then ultimately we build our own curriculum, and the next 12 months would be partnering with other places to generate revenue for us to build out the curriculum, and then eventually cut that off.
I'd like to add to that. We had some very long, in-depth conversations with software developers and people who attempted and bounced off of it. Part of that connectedness is taken for granted because there are so many resources. It's not that we don't have resources, it's how to curate them and how to help people understand from my idea to making a real-world application and what that means for me as a software engineer going into business. Those things are lacking in university teachings, it's lacking in book teaching and online. So unless you have a one-on-one guru or some other entryway point, we're helping to kind of help bring that world together to show people what the potential for this could be.
Can you talk about your competition? What is your competition and what is your advantage over them?
Our competitions, YouTube, Treehouse, Lambda School, university, right? But they're competition at different parts and at different levels. So your MOOCs, right? They're focused. You're already using a computer right then and there. Your universities are using O'Reilly textbooks, which are massive, text-heavy, dense, no images, no interaction. There are places like Free Code Academy, but there isn't that analog part, and there isn't a roadmap to continue building out in the way that
Into
we
the
are.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
And also many of those online schools, they don't advertise how many people do not stay or complete those programs. There's a lot of people who go in and never complete it.
Would you advertise that? Well, I guess my question, Lauren, is more so, yes, you've got those competitions, right? But then you've got an awareness problem. Because, if I'm coding, I'm going to be searching for like boot camps,
Right.
new Khan Academy, things like that.
Right.
So how are you going to get these people to be aware of, first of all, the notion that doing this on paper is better than watching videos, and then two, how do you convert and convince people that it is
So
right?
through my interactions with Kirkland and other places, we think in the long term, getting into like middle schools or high schools would be a great place. But right now, our archetype of people who need it now, and we can demonstrate that it works. This is just one thing, right?
Yeah.
We can demonstrate that there's a better retention, that their emotional state's better, and that they're learning. It's not going to be faster, but that they're going to be learning hopefully better and building on that better. Like piano practice, things that require practice.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping to do. It's not going to be coding in 10 days. It's going to be coding that you do more continuously.
Got it.
All right, that is it. Thank you so much.
Hey!